Do you know the Father's will for your life? I know the Father's will for your life. Come here, I'll show you.
When we're talking about the will of the Father, usually the first thing we're going to think of is the Lord's Prayer, whether it says, your kingdom come and your will be done. But in order to understand this, we're going to need to dig a little bit deeper, because the word will, I mean, honestly, it's a word we use a lot. Now, over the years, I've heard about the will of the Father being defined more as a destination. It's his will for you to be a pastor, a missionary, etc. God is really more into GPS directions than he is roadmaps. With a roadmap, you already know where you're going, but with a GPS, it's not necessary to know where you're going. It's just necessary to know how to follow directions. And really, he's more into that sort of thing. But that will be another conversation for later. For the time being, let's go over to blueletterbible.com, and to learn what the will of the Father is, let's simply go in here and type in the word will and see what we come up with. Now, if we go over to our lexicon, look for the exact match of the word will. In this example, everywhere that we see the will of the Father or the will of the flesh or the word being used in that context, we see the word G2307, which is the word thelema. G2307 is used the same way in all of the occurrences in the New Testament. Interestingly enough, if we go over to Revelation 4:11, the word thelema is being translated to the English word pleasure. The biblical usage of the word thelema in this first definition, what one wishes or is determined shall be done. Now, to illustrate what this means, let's use this example. Let's say I have a son. I'm going to send him to school. When I send him to school, I set the expectation for everything he's supposed to do while he's at school. A lot of these things will include work hard, do your homework, study, respect the teachers, do what they tell you, respect the other kids, don't get in fights, be nice. You know, there's a whole list of things that fall under my will for him in school. Now, let's say that he goes and he does that, and he does an exemplary job of that, so much so that we get to the award ceremony at the end of the year, and they bring my kid up and they give him citizenship award, perfect attendance, honor roll. I mean, he wins all kind of stuff. When the teachers look at my son and they say, this is wonderful behavior, where did you learn to behave this way? He's going to turn around and say, I learned it from my dad. He's right over there. You want to meet him? Now, at that point, whenever he gives you credit for that, every eye in the room is immediately going to turn to you, and they're going to recognize you as being a fantastic parent. Now, another way of saying that is, because my son went and did my will, it brought me glory in front of everybody that saw his behavior. So see, the Father's will isn't just one thing. He's given us an entire book to spell out everything he wants us to do and everything he wants us to apply to our conduct in our life. In fact, in John chapter 13, he says, I give you a new command, love one another. Just as I have loved you, you are also to love one another. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples if you love one another. And if you do so successfully, then people are going to look at you and they're going to be so blown away by your kindness, they're just going to have to know where you learned that. And when they ask you, you can simply answer, I learned it from my dad. You want to meet him? He's right over there.
And once again, you are welcome.